Working with the wrong dropshipping supplier can break your e-commerce business. In this video, I'm going to share my private dropshipping supplier with you, whereas I'm also going to explain 5 main things that potentially can go wrong with your dropshipping supplier and how you can avoid and fix them. The whole purpose of this video is to show you the foundation you need to have with your supplier so you can scale unlimitedly international with your dropshipping store. Because if you don't have this setup in the right place, your business will actually break after a few €1,000s in revenue, and that's also the significant difference why other people can scale to 500k a month and while others are stuck at a few €1,000 being broken with their systems. My name is Robin. I've been active in the e-commerce industry since early 2019, whereas I also run a Google Ads agency with more than 40 clients live right now. Without further ado, let's dive right into the 5 supplier mistakes and how you can potentially avoid them. Mistake number 1 is a very slow response time. This is one of the first red flags you need to notice when it comes down to the collaboration between you and your dropship supplier. Whereas in the beginning, it's even more important to recognize this, because later down the line, when you're actually implementing more budget and scaling to more orders, your supplier needs to have a super professional communication, not only to handle all orders, but also to solve all mistakes. So if in the beginning the communication isn't really rolling fast enough, you need to wait a long time for a simple response, but also in top of mind that your supplier is in another time zone, that you need to deal with this kind of issues to not be lacking in the communication. Because if you're going to scale and you have thousands of orders, the after service in terms of the customer service also need to be in direct touch with the supplier. So you need to make sure that the communication is super good and super clean without any noise potentially in a Slack channel or something like that. So if you have A players in your team, you can connect them with your supplier and be outside of the process, so you as a business owner can work on the business and not in the business in terms of this issues with the low responding time. That's why it's super crucial, and I started with that one as mistake number 1. And mistake number 2, what I see a lot of happening, is a long processing and fulfillment time. So you need to understand that we are speaking about the fulfillment time that the supplier is sourcing your product to their warehouse, and then the shipping time from their warehouse to your customer. So these are 2 different shipping times that we need to take in consideration and are super important. We need to minimize both times in order to get a satisfied client that is returning to your website in order to buy more. But if the fulfillment and sourcing time from China to your dropship supplier takes too long, then it will adds up extra days on the shipping time, because most of the time what I see is common is between 1 to 3 business days to source the products, and then between 5 to 7 days to ship the products, right? So in total we are talking about 10 days, which is already a little bit long, but with a good aftercare with the customer service, you can back this up and gain extra trust with good communication and proactive updates about the shipping. But if your supplier totally messes up, people are going to complain on review platforms such as Trustpilot. People are going to complain where is the payment processor, they are going to charge back. So if you have a low fulfillment and shipping time, it's a very difficult problem, and not every supplier has the same shipping speed in this case, right? You need to have a supplier that's in the right location with the right connections to fulfill and supply your orders faster. So it's not only about the product, it's also about that the sourcing of your supplier needs to be well connected in this kind of networks to get the best deals possible. And most of the time we see that bigger fulfillment companies have better deals here because they have more employees and they have a better network. After being active in the e-commerce industry for more than 6 years already, I've worked already with so many suppliers and made already so many mistakes. That's why I'm talking about first-hand experience in this video. But if you want to avoid working with the wrong supplier, make sure to click the link in the description, and on this page you will find the contact details of my private supplier, so you set yourself up for a serious successful foundation, not only for a dropshipping website, but later down the line if you want to transition into a branded store as well, they are the right person to get you up and running there, from my own personal experience. Without further ado, let's dive into mistake number 3. And this is the flexibility in terms of the payment processing time when it comes down to paying the supplier for the product cost. Because you need to understand that dropshipping requires a lot of cash flow. The payout time of a general payment processor is between 7 and 8 days, something like that. So you need to understand that your ad spend from Google, Meta, or any other platform is being charged right away. And then you need to have flexible payment terms from your dropshipping supplier, because if you need to pay them directly before even shipping out the products, you have a direct cash flow problem, because you're going to increase your marketing ad spend significantly. Therefore, the product costs are being increased a lot if you sell more, and therefore your payments are actually being delivered on your bank account after 7 to 10 days, for example, depending on what processor you have or what country you sell. So you need to make sure that your supplier has flexible payment terms, and understand that if you are going to sell more, they earn more and willing to take a risk in this kind of situation, right? So it's super important to always have a proactive communication with the supplier and explain him this cash flow thing, so he can back you up with sending the products to your customers, so that you pay, for example, once a week or once every 2 weeks. It depends a little bit how nice and well organized your supplier is. Or even once every 3 days would already help, but try to avoid paying every day, because then you run into cash flow issues right away if you significantly increase your ad spend, because the increase in revenue that is leading from the increase in ad spend will also come 7 to 10 days later with the payout. So if you need to back up and the ad spend and the product cost right away, might not be enough cash flow to back up everything at the same time in terms of the product cost and scaling as well, right? So therefore it's super important to negotiate flexible payment terms to keep everything organized. And if you do it once per week, it's very easy to track the profit also in your calculation sheet on your software, even more easy. And that brings us to mistake number 4, paying more for your product price than the actual market price. I mean, it's okay to pay a little bit more for the product cost for your supplier if it's proven to be a good one, but if it's not proven to be a good one and you already catch a few red flags and mistakes, what I'm going to explain and already explained in this video, it's not worth the actual price if you are paying more expensive than the actual market price. And you also need to understand that every euro or dollar you pay more for a product is directly profit from your account, what you actually should have in the first place. So if some supplier is, for example, 10% more expensive than another one, it might be worth switching already, because less profit in your pocket means that there is less investment for either marketing costs, players in your team, and initial growth, and more stock if you want to stock up some products in China in the first place. So paying more than the market price is a very red flag actually, and you need to take in consideration, because if your supplier of the fulfillment is a bigger one, they might have better terms and conditions with the factories. So initially they should pay actually a less price and give a better price to you as well, because they operate in bulk. So therefore it's very important to see and continuously check, for example, every 3-4 weeks, what is the market price for your best sellers, and what are you paying right now, and what is the difference in terms of the amount of units you sell on the month-to-month or week-to-week base, just as you prefer to check this kind of things. And that leads us to the last mistake, number 5. Not taking accountability for the problems that are caused for the fulfillment center. I mean, if you do plenty on orders a day, and we are always working with people, mistakes can happen throughout the process, right? I mean, in China, they can make mistakes. From your side, you can make mistakes. You can sold bestsellers that are not in stock or not being fulfilled yet. But it's always important that the fulfillment company in China needs to take their responsibility. If they send out the wrong product to the client, for example, in the wrong size or wrong color, they should back it up, and you need to back it up from your customer service. So you can make from a bad thing a good thing if everyone takes the responsibility. Because you need to understand that if the client is already waiting a few days and the product arrived, they're happy. But if you send the wrong product, or the supplier sends the wrong product, you need to back it up. They need to keep the product, and the fulfillment center need to ship out directly with the express service the new product, the correct one. So you can turn, with a good customer service and proactive communication, this like bad situation into a good one, because the people can have this product in the first place for free, and they get a new right product shortly afterwards, right? So this is super important, that the supplier takes the responsibility and don't charge you extra for the mistakes that he or she is making. Because if you do hundreds or potentially thousands of orders a day, Mistakes can always happen because we are all human, right? But the most important thing is that everyone in the supply chain takes their responsibility, so you don't need to back up these mistakes from your hardly earned profit that you need to reinvest in your team and ad spend, right? So these are very important things to take in consideration when it comes down to working with the dropshipping supplier. And those were the 5 key mistakes that I personally made myself and I see other people in the dropshipping game making on a day-to-day basis. Make sure to click the link in the description to get the details of my private supplier who can seriously set you up for good dropshipping success when it comes down to starting and scaling successfully with your dropshipping business. And also make sure to watch the recommendation video after this, where I explain my full step-by-step Google Ads strategy so you can start and launch your very first profitable Google Ads throughout the whole season and have as much profit from your dropshipping store as possible, leveraging the most profitable platform there is, Google Ads, right now. My name is Robin. Thank you for watching this video and I see you in the next one.